Hello, hello, this is Jen. I hope everybody's good. I'm here with an energy update. So, thank you for being here. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're not new. Let's jump right in. So, what's going on these days? I think the real question should be what is not going on these days because so many things are happening and it feels like I always say the same things at the beginning of my videos, and it's just crazy how fast things are changing. Lately, we've been into major tower moments for a lot of people, if not everyone. Lots of decision making, lots of losing, releasing, purging in all different shape and form. So purging on an emotional level, losing on a physical level, what seems like a physical level but not spiritual level, and just decision making. Like so many people have made decisions that really assisted the collective into moving forward to the next step, which is great because a lot of people were resisting the what may have looked like something like it's impossible. Nothing is impossible, or like practically nothing is impossible. Um, but finally, like some decisions were made. Some people are very quick at making decisions because they either know right away and they rely on their intuition and they deal with whatever consequences come from that. And other people, they hold on to things that they know they should not, to things that they know they should let go, but they just hold on, they hang on, usually because they fear of maybe a lot of things, but mostly the lack that it will create if we let go of these things, which is just an invention from the mind. Because when you feel that there is an empty space, not too long after, the universe will take care of it. So we are in these energies of tower moments and chaos, like huge chaos. There's so much movement everywhere that it feels like there's a cloud of dust over everything, and it's hard to see past it. It's hard to see what's coming up. It's everybody is like in that state of question mark. What is coming my way? What is next? Because I don't feel it. I don't see it. I don't know myself. And it can create feelings of being lost, of just like, what is happening? So it's mainly part of these tower moments, and when those show up, it's divinely guided so that whatever is meant to be can show up, so that you can be on your path, on your mission, so that the universe can have your back and say, look, dude, you've been holding on to this for too long now, so I must take it away from you because it's not resonating at the right level for you. It's not vibrating at the right level for you, so I need to take it away. And perhaps when we lose things, they weren't ours to begin with. Maybe they were there. Maybe they showed up at a specific time in our lives to be there, to honor a contract, to clear karma, to teach us. And once the teaching is done, well, these things leave. So I know, and that's unfortunate, and that's very sad and difficult to go through, but a lot of people are losing people. A lot of people are also losing animals. This is affecting every living being on earth. These energies, I mean, it's affecting every being on earth, and it's exactly what Dolores Cannon was talking about with the split of the earth. In one of her videos, she goes into deep details about explaining how, for those who cannot handle that change, specifically their bodies, how they cannot hold or handle that change, they just leave. And the way she says it, you're like, where do they go? But yeah, where do they go? Either they stay where they're at their level, and that's what it is, or they just leave this physical plane. I know I'm witnessing this in a lot of people in my life also. A lot of things are changing. A lot of things are just quitting, but not in the negative way, but like the mission is done for them. So they're moving on to wherever they need to go, to wherever they need to be to pursue their own mission. It's never easy when that happens, because sometimes it happens so quickly that we don't have time to see it coming. But if you look back, you may notice how you've had some clues, especially if you have opened your spiritual gifts. You may have noticed that at that one time, 2 or 3 weeks ago, perhaps you felt that kind of energy, but you couldn't understand why or where it was coming from. What was it related to? And now this week, perhaps you're walking into the reason why you were feeling this. Or maybe you're able to just look back and understand that sequence of synchronicities that was there for you through symbols or through feelings, energies, through dreams, and now you're able to make sense. So yes, it's the split of the earth, because it's time to move on. It's time to elevate higher and to embrace these energies and to embrace them physically, embody them. Some people may also notice how some people are awakening like suddenly, or how spirituality is now becoming like a mainstream subject. It's crazy. Like we've all leveled up. That has been happening in every way possible, and for a lot of people it has been happening through dreams or during during their sleep. A lot of people are waking up in the morning and feeling like they've partied all night, because so many downloads are showing up during that time. And that's always difficult to wake up this way, because usually you go through your day, you have the energy, enough energy to go through whatever you need to take care of during the day. And at night you feel all messed up, you feel tired, your body is like, no, you're not even watching TV, I'm tired, please take me to bed. And then you go to bed and you have crazy dreams, crazy download, and it's not always easy to understand what these symbols mean, because it's through a dream. That's why lucid dreaming is so fun. But then you wake up and you're like, oh, okay, that was a dream, but what does it mean? Because there's so many layers in that dream that it's hard to make sense of it. That also explains the weird stuff that is happening with time. And as Sean Cook, thank you for your comments on my last video, as he was saying, it's a timeline thing. And it's true, it's absolutely true. So go read it in my last video, his comment. He explains it very, very well. I don't often go there, because to me, and that's my perception, doesn't mean it's the right one, it's just mine. Timelines are very personal to each individual. There's like, yes, one big collective timeline where everybody needs to like keep up with, but then again, like you have your own personal timeline that can be all screwed up by one event, and then you can get back on it. Basically, it's just like a rhythm. It's just something happening between all our dimensions and all the space in between. And the more we go forward, the more people are being aware of that we are multi-dimensional beings. All beings are, including animals, which are, by the way, great teachers. And maybe you're just realizing what your pet or your animals came here to teach you. It has become very clear for a lot of people what the mission is, what it's all about. Like no more questions like, what's the purpose? What's the meaning of my life? You may be able to see it, like who was your greatest ally during the last decade, for example, and now that ally is leaving you because you're ready for a new one. You're ready for a new teacher. You've passed this level. So that's really great, great, awesome news. You may also realize that the people you thought were your allies and your real friends, they may show you the opposite of this these days. It's those energies. It's really a time to just clean up and really let everything fall out of your life, everything that is no longer needed, so that you can move on to the next thing. Move on to that space in between until you receive the new things, until you manifest the new things. And it is the perfect time for this. Like for a lot of people, whatever is coming on the other side of these energies will be great magic, will be great surprises, will be the aha, you thought you never would see this in your life, right? There it is. So it's really important to just stay grounded and aligned, preserve your energy, polish your energy, really pay attention to your body and your signs, your symbols, your synchronicities, whatever is coming up in your body, pay attention to it and honor it. Because it's a good time where people can sneak in like attacks, if I can say it this way, like can sneak in to steal your energy. And if you're not being careful, well, you become deflated. And it's a time to stand strong and just stand bright and tall and just be your divine self. That's what the universe is asking from us. And in order to bring us what we need, well, we need to go through all these things. So if we look at the divine masculine, they're going through this as well, and they're being served. And for a lot of them, the word that is coming up is crisis. They're in crisis. They're trying to solve things, to understand, to make those decisions. And if they're not being made, the universe is making those decisions for them. So crisis, like identity crisis, like who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going next? Why am I going through this? Okay, I've understood this part like last year or 6 months ago, and now I'm still back into this funky energy where nothing makes sense anymore. So they're asking themselves a lot of questions, and they're also dealing with the rise of the feminine energy. It's the rise of the feminine energy for everyone, but it can hit a lot harder for the divine masculine, especially those who have been in their ego so much, into their mind so much, and denying that part of themselves. You may start witnessing this. I know I have. Just last week, a guy was telling me how his left side of his body was tingling, and how he could not take his focus away from that. Like he was called to understand what was going on, and he's very awakened. He's a physical healer, and he's very aware of his body and what's going on, but he was like, this is so different. I've never felt this before. And he was indeed different on that day. He had a softer energy, a more nurturing energy. So I could see that within, he was trying to just harmonize everything. So that could sum up very quickly what's going on in the divine masculine side. On the divine masculine side, there's chaos on their side as well. It's chaos. It's the storm before the sun, and they're being more than pressured, because there's no more space to escape. Like it's easy to see in everyone at this point when someone is being truthful and someone is not. Like the universe is asking for us to rely on our heart, intuition, and our body and to let go of the mind and the ego. Whatever comes up in the body is the truth, because the body has no ego. The body has this wisdom and intelligence with no filters. And the divine masculine is learning that, is learning how to use that as a tool. So is everybody for that matter, but specifically more the divine masculine, because for a lot of them, they are really not used to that. They're also seeing on their end a rise of spirituality, how people are talking about spirituality like everywhere, even kids. Like it's everybody got like awakened like on a higher level, and even kids. Not too long ago, I had a 10-year-old kid telling me how at times he felt that he was leaving his body, being wide awake during the day, how he was leaving his body to go in a place where he doesn't know what it is, doesn't understand where it is. But when he would come back in his body, he said to me, I'm coming back and now I have all this knowledge that I didn't know before. And it's all spirituality related. It's all about the universe, black holes, energies. And he even added how once he comes back, if he thinks about something, it usually happens within minutes. And he realizes that these are all gifts. And if he concentrates like hard enough, he can connect to other people's energy. He doesn't realize that this is all spiritual stuff. He was talking to me about this, trying to make me understand how he felt and trying to make sense of it all. But all of this to say that everyone who's breathing now at this moment is going through this. And these changes are at times very difficult to deal with and to embrace, but they are necessary. They just are. We're there. This is the new earth. This is the new energies. And we'll never go back to the way it was before. Never. It's always higher, higher, and higher, and even higher, and even more. It doesn't end. And we must hop on the wave and surf it until it breaks and until there's a new one showing up. And as far as the divine feminine, for a lot of them, they are into practical stuff, physical stuff, material stuff, trying to put everything in place, getting ready for the next phase. And this can be difficult because for a lot of them, they don't understand why they're doing this. And it's really a time to just release and surrender and just say, you know what? I'm guided to do this, so I'm going to do this. And it's really strong these days to be guided like strongly by our bodies, especially in situations where our mind is having a really hard time processing or understanding what is happening, because it makes no sense if we go at it from the mind. But the body is very, very clear. It's like, you do this now. And then usually you understand a few moments later or a few days later why you needed to do that. And the divine feminine is really embodying this and preparing physically for what's coming. So this is affecting the divine masculine as well. It's affecting them in the way that they need to go further into their intuition. They understand better what it's all about because there's less resistance, less ego, and they have no choice. And really, for a lot of them, it's taking so much out of them that they don't have the energy to resist anymore. They're just like down to their knees thinking, I'm tired, I'm exhausted from dragging this weight over my shoulder. And as this happened, the divine feminine, especially in the last 2 days, for a lot of them, they were guided to drop something as well, like major stuff, like mic drop. I'm out of here. Ciao. And feeling really relieved after letting go of specific situations, especially situations from work, especially difficult, complex situations involving a lot of people, and not seeing clearly what's the purpose of all of this. But you can tell yourself this: if you're in it, there's a purpose. If you're guided to quit, to go elsewhere, there's a purpose. If you're thinking about going elsewhere because your ego is wounded, but you can't manage to go because there's not the right opportunity showing up, it means you need to stay there and just deal with it and heal your wounded ego. It's part of your mission to be around these people. There's something for you to do there, and until it's resolved, you won't be able to move to the next thing. So aside from these tower moments happening, aside from this phase where time is just crazy, sometimes the pressure is so fast or present, it's as if we go through 7 days in one kind of thing. The only thing to do or to put in place is to stay grounded and aligned and surrender. Just surrender. Especially if you've been here and working on yourself, if you've been on your spiritual path for quite some time, it's not the time to resist. It's practically impossible anyway. The universe is not giving any space for like any margin of errors. It's like it's happening now, whether you like it or not. You've had all these clues before and symbols. You've had all your chances. Now it's showtime. So yes, it can create moments where it feels empty. It feels like we're lost. It feels like nothing makes sense anymore. But it is for our highest good, and it is to help us embody our divinity and stay in it and not come back in the ego and not come back to our old self. These energies are bringing a lot of detox, personality-wise, physically. You may notice how your hair might be different, how your body is shifting shapes, how your body is reacting differently, like either very quickly, like you sense your intuition very quickly and it's like visceral, you feel it, there's no doubt, there's no question about it. Or either your personality is changing, like you're aware that you're shifting your behaviors, that you're being guided into either being very tolerant with situations and people, or on the opposite, being very impatient and no more tolerance. So if you are in the no more tolerance phase, it's time to let go, or it's time to change. It's time to let go of something. Either you, your behavior, or either the situation itself, or all of the above. There's a reason for this. And the reason is your energy that you need to preserve, protect, and polish, and to take care of, and just integrate it even more and more to help other people, to help yourself, to be in your divinity. So in those situations where you feel like you have no tolerance left, release and let go and move on, just move on. Easier said than done, I know, but it is for good reasons, and you shall feel it in your heart when you do it. Other than that, yeah, the divine masculine being in crisis, not a life or death situation or kind of thing, but more like crisis, like, geez, I'm tired of this, like being down to their knees to, what do you want from me? Like, as if turning to the universe saying, what do you want from me? What do you want me to get to understand? I will do it. They have no more strength to keep on resisting, on keep or keep on like hiding stuff under the carpet. They know, they just know, they know. It may not be clear or very clear for some of them, but they know, they just know. And they know it's time to do something. It's time to focus on themselves, the mission. It's time to make amends, forgive, take a step forward towards the divine feminine, understand and work with their divine feminine energy within, and harmonize everything. So yeah, until a certain level of balance is reached, it can create like uncomfortable sensations on all levels: physical, spiritual, mental, weird stuff. But this too shall pass. This too shall pass. And as we go towards the spring equinox, which I believe will bring much different energies, well, we need to embrace this phase of, let's clean and start fresh. So that's it for now. Thank you for being here. You can follow me on social media at IndigoGirl555 on Instagram, Indigo Girls Readings on Facebook. You can also use my email at indigogirl555 @gmail.com. And until the next time, be well.